Oh, they're both up. That was quick. Quicker than usual. Hmm. Before I greet you people, I like to make sure that I can share these. I gotta get a new photo. I gotta get a new photo. That shit looks terrible. I'll do it eventually. Anyway, how are you people doing? Had a long day at work. Had a long day in general. Took 2 naps today. But anyway, enough about me. I want to talk about something pretty funny, something I think is pretty hilarious, and it's this. So apparently, Steven Crowder. Oh wait, hold on. My response to Steven Crowder's deceptible betrayal. For those of you who don't know, Steven Crowder made a video the other day. I'm not going to watch that video on stream. It's like 29 minutes long, and I'm like trying to get through this fast. But basically, the gist of it is that Steven Crowder's upset that big, big, the big conservatives in the big conservatives on the scene are now penalizing their creators for getting content strikes, for getting in context strike. It was a bunch of wild things. They like you can't get demonetized, you can't get content strikes, or you have to pay fines. And these fines are huge. Like 25% of all your profit has to pay the fine. Absolutely insane. And it looks like Benny Boy over here isn't too happy about that. Now I haven't seen this video. I've seen the first Crowder video, and we're gonna watch this video, and then we're gonna watch his response to this video. So let's get into this.
Well, folks, I'm sure many of you have seen the controversy that has broken out between, I would say, our former friend Steven Crowder and those of us here at the Daily Wire.
He's so
Either
upset.
this,
Oh, hey, look, they're
this
playing
has
it.
to stop, or I'm going to have to stop.
Yes,
And it
stop.
makes me sick to my stomach. I know that my business partner, Jeremy Boring, has made him sick to his stomach as well, because we had always considered Steven a friend. I was Steven's first lawyer. I helped negotiate his contract with Fox News, going all the way back. It's got to be at least over a decade. And Steven and I had always been very friendly. I know Jeremy was even friendlier with Steven, had counseled him in very rough times. I had personally attempted to intervene when Steven was demonetized in June 2019 on YouTube. I actually sounded off so loudly that the people at YouTube reached out to me, and Susan Wojcicki, the head of YouTube, got on the phone with me, and I reamed her out over demonetizing Steven. And I hope it made a difference.
I could just imagine his nasally voice, like, "Excuse me, the fact that you liberals are planning on doing this stuff to me, to my friend Crowder here, is very unconstitutional. You hear me? You hear I say? Well, we will not stand for this. What's that?" Hold on a second. This is gonna kill me. Hold on. I had to turn a light on because of the background.
Now, look, I think that Steven is an incredibly talented comedian. I also think that what he was
I'm sorry. I don't know how you could say that with a straight face. Steven Crowder, the biggest, one of the biggest bigots on the internet, who uses all his comedy material to push racism. Yeah, very talented.
Doing to my friend Jeremy Boring right now is one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in politics. It really is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
Wow, he's really mad about this. You know what happened? One of the Koch brother that's still alive got on the phone with him and fucking screamed his foot like the last of his breath. He had a stroke. He's in the hospital right now, and he's pissed off about it because that's where his money's coming from. And if he dies, he loses it all. That's why he's so pissed. He's trying to keep that fucking money, and him having a stroke is hurting it.
Understand what's happening, I think you have to understand a couple of things. So, for those who missed the story, basically, we offered Steven a term sheet, a non-binding term sheet. A non-binding term sheet is exactly what it sounds like. It is a list of terms for a proposed negotiation for a contract. And the negotiation happens, then you come to a final contract. That is what a non-binding term sheet.
Now, in the I don't think that Steven Crowder actually like gave the name of who made this. I'm surprised that Ben Shapiro over here is responding when I don't think Steven Crowder actually said who gave him that contract. He was just being very vague about it. Ben is really mad if he's actually gonna come out and flat out state that we were the ones that gave him that contract.
Sheet is. His agent had solicited us to make him an offer. This is when he was in his closing days with the Blaze. And so we sent him over a non-binding term sheet for $50 million over the course of 4 years with an additional 2-year option
that's a lot of money.
at $25 million. That is, as it sounds like, a lot of money. But we thought that Steven is worth it because Steven is, again, an incredibly talented guy with a very, very large following. And if you want to hear the actual terms of the term sheet, all you have to do is go to the description on this particular video or head on over to YouTube, and you can see my business partner, Jeremy Boring, read the terms word for word. Steven's original video in which he attacked us. So this week, Steven attacked
us. But hold on. I'm gonna read it afterwards. I just wanna see if he's lying or not. It's not in the link. What? Ben? Hey, Ben. I don't see it. I don't see the link to it, Ben. Fucking liar. Wait, hold on. Let me go back a second. What did he say?
Very large following. And if you want to hear the actual terms of the term sheet, all you have to do is go to the description on this particular video.
Oh, wait a minute. This is cut from his thing. So if I have to go to his actual full video of it.
Word for word. Steven's original video in which he attacked us. So this week, Steven.
Streaming?
Yeah.
Doing more political stuff.
Attacked Jeremy Boring and attacked the Daily Wire and suggested that we had essentially offered him an enslavement contract that would have robbed him of all of his freedom and made him subject to the whims of big tech and all the rest of this kind of bullshit. And it's just not true. Jeremy, unlike Steven, read the entire text of the term sheet on the air and goes through it piece by piece and explains exactly how it works. And in short, all the contract says is, we are offering you this gigantic sum of money, and if you start to lose money for the company and for yourself because you lose YouTube, for example, then we both lose money, so you lose some money. Because this is typically how contracts work.
Yeah, yes, that's true. Yeah, Crowder shouldn't be upset about this. If he's hurting the business by getting demonetized or getting strikes, then obviously the person who signed the contract should punish him for it. I don't know why he thinks that's like a problem.
On this show, for example, if I lose advertisers and the revenue of the show goes down, then I lose revenue personally because the revenue of the show has gone down. So again, if you want the details, the legalistic details of all this, you can check out Jeremy's video. It is absolutely comprehensive and irrefutable because again, he reveals, I've never seen anybody else do this, he reveals literally the entirety of the what was supposed to be confidential term sheet that Steven decided to partially leak for his own benefit. And this is the part that's really ugly. Okay, so the part that's really ugly is the betrayal of friendship. So last night, Steven Crowder.
Betrayal of friendship. They were fucking each other. That's what he's saying.
In response to Jeremy reading the entire term sheet and saying somehow Stephen misconstrued this and is using this to attack us and launch a website called
A
Stop
lover's
Fake
quarrel.
Fraud, as though we are in the pocket of big tech. We are in the pocket of big tech. We who have invested literally tens of millions of dollars building alternatives to big tech. We who put up people like...
So becoming another big tech, a second big tech. There can be more than one big tech, you know, Ben Shapiro. But to him, it's not a big tech because it's his.
Matt Walsh and Candace Owens and my show. We who have been attacked by Facebook and have been attacked in the legacy media all the time.
Attacked by
and who are
Facebook.
routinely demonetized. Well, yes, nailed it. We were in the pocket of big tech. This was Stephen's line of attack. And supposedly, this line of attack came from that term sheet, right? The idea was that the term sheet was doing the work of big tech because the term sheet suggested that if he got demonetized from YouTube and we both lost money, that he would also lose money. What he apparently wanted us to do was continue to pay him extraordinary sums of money, even if the show was losing money, which is called a charity. It is not called a business. The hardest thing to do in the conservative movement or anywhere else.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'm pretty sure your backers didn't fucking take money from you when you were like doing this. Granted, he has his rights to do this. This is a contract. If he wants to, he can stipulate any rules he wants. Crowder doesn't have to sign off on it. Just because, like, if Crowder doesn't like it, he could have negotiated or he could have just said no. He didn't have to make this whole video, which is making me believe that there's an underlying reason why they did this. I feel like they're trying to get a little bit of attention, you know?
Is to, one, run a successful business, and two, make a difference. We here at Daily Wire do both things. In fact, we try to generate a profit so we can continue to make a difference. And it turns out when you lose money, you don't actually have the wherewithal or the resources in order to do things, like spend enormous quantities of money making What is a Woman by Matt Walsh, or making The Greatest Lie Ever Sold by Candace Owens, or funding the investigative reporters who shift the Virginia gubernatorial race by uncovering what happens in Loudoun County, or put out good information each and every
Is he just listing off about the bullshit they spout?
day to rebut the evils of the Biden administration, or spend the millions of dollars it takes to sue the Biden administration to stop the OSHA vax mandate, or any of that kind of stuff. They cost money. And in order to
Yeah, let's sue them so I can make people sick.
make that money, you have to run a business. You can't run a charity for your hosts. That apparently is what Stephen wanted, but Stephen decides that this is, supposedly his story is, that he was so offended by the term sheet, he just had to speak out. He had to stand up for the little guy, right? Okay, there are a bunch of problems with this. I was willing to stay silent on all of this, generally speaking, and not get into the weeds and not get into Stephen's personal conduct until the point when he personally recorded a phone call with my best friend, Jeremy Boring.
Wait, what? When was this? I barely know anything. What is going on?
And then proceeded to release that publicly. That is disgusting. It is disgusting, and it is vile on a pure human level. Jeremy, again, has gone out of his way for Stephen more times than I can count. He has counseled Stephen personally. And Stephen decided, in premeditated fashion, that he was going to tape his friend and then release it to grow his email list. It is that simple. And I'll show you the timeline here. Because the case here is that, again, this term sheet that he got, he was so offended by it, he just had to speak up. He couldn't be held back any longer. He had to speak up on behalf of the little guy. Okay, I'm going to read you the timeline of what happened during this negotiation and when he decided to tape his friend, his supposed friend, Jeremy Boring. So here is the timeline here. October 5th, 2022 is when we sent Stephen this supposedly evil term sheet. So evil. So you would imagine that the term sheet was that evil. October 6th, he couldn't have held back. How could you guys do this? It would be just...
Oh shit. I'm fucking up. This is the video from Crowder came out yesterday. This video from Ben Shapiro is 7 hours old. I'm fucking up. Wait, got hold on. I'm missing context. Hold on.
They don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
Got God bless the talk boy. Those things are worth like $5,000 now.
Is he? So he's upset that he's being what he wants everyone else that isn't him to be. He's mad. He's really mad. He got disrespected. Like, I should be like one of those fucking middle class people who have to work for my money.
No, it's an expensive gag. So didn't want to have to do this, but Daily Wire outed themselves very, very quickly. And sure enough, if you see all of the people who work there, some of whom I have relationships with, they immediately tried to make this all about money. Here's the problem. There are a few problems, and I'll go through with some receipts. Everything that was said about negotiations, how they transpired, beyond the numerical value, which is true and I'll get to, everything else is untrue. I don't really want to get into that. It's completely irrelevant. Here's why. Go back to the 20-something minute video, 30-minute video. You've never heard me say, or write anywhere online, that these offers weren't paying enough money. Why? Because it's not about the money. It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money. I'm talking...
No, I'm pretty sure that it's about the money. What? See, the thing is, if it wasn't about the money, I'm pretty sure Crowder would have stayed quiet about it. He gets paid a lot of fucking money from billionaires. So there's no reason for me to actually believe that he did all of this just for, like, to speak out against what's wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. This might be, like, the best thing ever. Left and right infighting. He loses all his money. The Daily Wire, I mean, he loses all his money. Like, Steven Crowder falls, and then all we have left is the Daily Wire to deal with, and PragerU, and the other dumbasses.
I'm talking about a country. I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about making a difference. It's not about the money, and Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. How do I know they know that? Because after, according to what he said, I walked away from the offer. I did place one more call to the Daily Wire, and I made it very, very clear that it wasn't about money. That was not the topic of conversation. There was zero, as they've tried to portray this, miscommunication. It was one last call where the only thing that I asked for, my only demand, was their word, and not even...
And another reason to believe that this is fake, it's illegal to record people and then place it on for your own benefit. You have to tell them that you're recording them. So Steven Crowder could be in real life, like... Wait, I might be wrong. Hold on. I might be saying something really stupid. Are they all in LA, right? Oh wait, we're kind of getting into the weeds of things. Hold on. Fuck what I said. Fuck what I said.
For me, but for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts. Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say some other kid you're paying 6 figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
And here's something else. I was also very measured.
No, there wouldn't. If the video gets demonetized, they still have their backers. That's the point of fighting demonetization. What? Maybe Crowder is being serious. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I was painstakingly clear in taking myself off the table because it wasn't going to be a right fit. That happens in business all the time. But that we weren't talking about me. We were talking about the futures of other people who could potentially be in that position, that very disconcerting position. No miscommunication. What I'm talking about is you're describing a model for everyone, not just let's get rid of me here. Everyone, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube, because your business model requires that be a huge component of it, you need to change your business model or this movement cannot work, Jeremy. I can't imagine my show trying to come up and be beholden to YouTube advertiser guidelines, let alone, I mean, honestly, being beholden from a conservative entity with hard strikes, right, being removed, but let alone being advertiser friendly. We know how broad those guidelines are. They might as well just read, don't say anything offensive, and they change them at the drop of a hat.
Okay. So basically what it is he wants to be unlimitedly racist, unlimitedly, like, sexist, unlimitedly transphobic, unlimitedly homophobic, without any repercussions whatsoever. He wants to get out there. He wants to get the shoe shine, put it on his face, and go, "Oh, massa, massa, massa." He wants to do that. He wants to do it and have Ben Shapiro and his cronies pay him for it without any repercussion. He wants all his money. It doesn't matter if he offends anybody. It doesn't matter if he does the what is that one he does? Where he does the big buck teeth, or if he does the Hispanic voice. He doesn't care. He wants to be able to do it. He wants to the knee on the neck. He wants to do 20 knees on the neck. He wants to do a lynching. He wants to do a lynching. He literally wants to have blackface and do a lynching. He wants that to happen. I'm being dead serious. He wants to do it, put it out there, and and not worry about losing any money from his backers whatsoever. That's what he wants. And he's upset that they won't let him do that.
I'm not suggesting that the guidelines aren't terrible. I'm suggesting that if making money off of those platforms is part of how you're justifying the salary you're paying someone.
See, they're doing it smart. They know that they have to punish these people because they have to keep reaching their audiences. They have to make it so that this is a worth sung game. If they're not the less money they make, the harder it is for them to keep pushing their propaganda.
Then when, or the fee I keep saying salary, the fee you're paying someone, then when those go away, everybody loses money. You can't pay the same amount with less revenue.
How about you create a different business model? Now, I know what...
He's so mad. He's so fucking mad.
To say that, unless, instead of Monday morning quarterbacking it, here's the thing. I didn't just offer criticisms. I offered a guide on how to... Here's the deal. I want to sit at the table with people who, granted, have an immense amount of power and have incredibly deep pockets. That is all true, to be clear. And by the way, it's something that I want to have on our side of the aisle. But I offered a guide on how to do it. It is incumbent... This is what this is about. It is incumbent upon conservatives, if we believe what we say, to uncouple, to divest, if you want to use that term, from big tech, right? For the business models of the movement as we move forward, to not rely on playing ball with Facebook and with YouTube. That is something that we have to move toward. You know that we've been trying to do that.
He wants his own platform. He wants them to create their own platform.
So.
Hey, wait, hold on. Steven. It would fail. He doesn't get it. It costs billions of dollars to run YouTube, to run Twitter, to run Facebook, to run all these companies. And right now, Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, they can't afford it. They can't afford to run a big streaming platform like that. They'll be like BitChute or the other one. Fucking, they won't make a dime. AdSense is everywhere. Google has made a monopoly on AdSense. It's impossible for them to fight that unless they got really, really, really fucking lucky. And I highly doubt that's going to happen. So they have to be beholden to Google for the time being, which is probably for as long as all of us will be living.
We certainly won't compromise the truth in order to be advertiser friendly. Here's the thing, Daily Wire, Jeremy, and I really do hope that we can talk at some point. Please, you can pick up the phone. We've done that. We here have found a way to make that work. For proof, see election night, our numbers on Rumble there, and see the numbers on Rumble when we get suspended from YouTube. I think it was 4 times this last year, and I went to great lengths to communicate that to the people at Daily Wire. There can be no next me if the people at the top with the financial resources are doing the bidding. That's
Good. I don't want a next you. I want this to stop with you.
Being the arm of big tech. What you just said is, well, we have to play ball with big tech if we want to make money. Well, I don't. Why don't you guys follow a model like I have and scale it? That's what I've been doing since 2014. You know that. I've been trying to make sure, which I thought we were all doing, that we can all flip the bird to Silicon Valley. This is saying we need him and you need to play ball. And by the way, before some of you ask this, look, there's always personal information on phone calls. And for the record, I've recorded 3 people on phone calls in my life. All 3 are involved with big tech. Just to be clear, the entire call transcript has been sent to others to verify without hopefully having to release the whole thing. And I'll be on Tim Pool's show, I believe, on Monday to talk about it. Now, this is something else that's been brought to my attention. Look, some people have been sent out from Daily Wire and have gotten very personal. obviously when we released this video, we didn't name names, and I told you there are a lot of people in the space who have made offers, and it is true. There are quite a few, and there are some others that have been pretty similar to this. This isn't an incredible unique scenario, but there have been some good people out there too, and we're still talking with them. So I do know that some people from Daily Wire have have come out, maybe been instructed to. I have no idea. I don't care. And they've gotten very personal. I don't want to do that. At least I didn't want to. But now it's sort of necessary for me to do so. So these are the only personal things I will say about the people at Daily Wire. Andrew Klavan is one of my favorite people of all time. He has an unbelievable skill to make you feel like the smartest guy in the room, even though I guarantee you he's smarter than you. There are very few people whose company I enjoy more than Andrew Klavan. Jordan Peterson is not only a friend, I would go to the wall for him. He's a guy who has changed the landscape of our country for the better. Can't say enough good things about him. Ben Shapiro is possibly the smartest person I know.
Oh, he knows. You don't know that many smart people then. Just saying, Ben Shapiro, the libertarian Shapiro, who's only a libertarian when it comes to businesses he likes and policies that he likes.
That's as personal as I'll get. Now, here's the thing. Only after that final call, after negotiations had fallen through, pleading on the side of principle and knowing that it was completely met with deaf ears, did I come out like I did. See, here's the thing. They keep talking about a business. Well, I walked away from the table because I'm talking like it's about a country, about a movement. And this is the thing. The response that I've heard over the years is not just now. I've been doing this for a long time. You constantly hear, it's just business. It's just business. Well, guess what? It's not to me. Sure, I run a business, but it's not just business. And let me ask you.
Yeah, it's about pushing my irreverent, edgy humor.
Have you ever heard someone say it's just business when they're doing the right thing? Ever hear someone give $250,000 to charity and say it's just business? And here's something I would like to ask you, because I know that they've tried to play the identity politics and misrepresent the whole financial situation. But yeah,
playing identity politics. How are they playing identity politics? Is that a dog? Wait, what? Identity politics? I want him to substantiate that, but he's not going to, obviously.
Over the course of 4 or 5 years, the total operational budget, meaning 25, 30 employees, all of the costs, security, health insurance, would have been somewhere in the $50 million ballpark for that total operational budget. That is true. Okay. First off, I think it's a good thing for conservative companies out there to be generating or capable of generating far more than that. It'd be better than just Disney and just Netflix and just Hulu Plus. And I'd like the people who are in charge of that to be people who are willing to walk away from that if it comes with strings attached, with people who hate everything you stand for. So let's take that at face value, okay? I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? Put yourself in my shoes. What would it take? How much do your principles matter to you? What kind of a headspace would you have to be in to walk away full stop from $50 million?
A pretty, I have the money to walk away from that shit standpoint. Honestly. Again, he's funded by billionaires. He doesn't have to worry about this. Like, it's not like he's struggling right now. Of course he could walk away from this. If he wasn't struggling, if he was just starting out, he'd take that shit. He'd take that shit and only would start making a fuss after a few years where they cancel him for his Native American tribute, where he puts on the red face.
Let me ask you even further. What would it take for you to be willing to walk away from at least $50 million because of it causing harm to someone else that doesn't even affect you? But the next kid. I've talked about this, you have it in comedy. I'm never going to be the guy who pulls the ladder up after me. What motivates me is not money. Of course, everyone here likes nice things. They want to make a living. You've heard me say this many times. I want to pass the torch. I want there to be someone else to do this.
No, I don't want everybody else to do this. I'm tired of you being popular.
It can't happen if this is how our movement is structured. And you know that, by the way, this could do irreparable damage to the movement, the country, and the people who fought so hard for the ground gained if we've decided to get in bed with these people who want to strip it away. I'm asking, would you walk away? What would it take for you to walk away?
He's being very, very stupid here. Like, Daily Wire is going to pick you up and put you in line to funnel even better than you possibly ever could. I mean, he's gonna get a huge fan base from this. I don't doubt it. Again, it's still on the fence whether or not this was all for clout or not this is like a publicity stunt or anything. Could be eventually that this guy does move over to the Daily Wire and is funded that and gets like a different contract where they work their things out. I don't know.
$50 million because it's true. That's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I'm doing.
Your dad funds your fucking show, dude. Don't act like you walking away from this money is a big deal. You get funded already.
And so long as these contracts out there include enforcement of big tech, of punishing conservative creators on behalf of the people we claim to fight and the people who have long since demonetized us and can't stand me, and part of me doesn't blame them. As long as these contracts include that, not even for me, but the next person, I wouldn't take $1 billion. And certainly not if you understand in context, when behind closed doors, I know.
It's because he knows that other people have the $1 billion to split with him.
These people know and acknowledge exactly what's being done to the next generation of creators.
Bench talent, young talent, they don't get deals like this.
So they don't get deals that
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand.
you then own.
Well, I own parts of it. I don't own it. They can, when their contract's up, they can still go out and they'll still be famous. They can keep doing their shows. They'll go do a show somewhere else. They'll be in a far, far, far better place. You helped make them.
No, not long as this contract. This contract owns it in perpetuity even after the contract. You're paying a lease but getting ownership. That's what this contract is.
On the content that we paid to produce, yeah.
See, that's what he's mad about. He's mad that he can't get away with doing whatever he wants without and getting all the money he can get from it. That's his problem. Like, again, I hate like there's legitimate problems with contracts. Like these things, like they can be really fucking evil. Like owning like somebody else's shit. I mean, that's the only way you can get things that way. And like if they can't own it, then they can't really do nothing with it, and they have to keep going through you. Yeah, it's a lot easier to go through. I fucking can't stand contracts. They're fucking pretty evil. But you know.
Yes.
I mean, look, I understand there are going to be differing opinions on this. I understand that. As someone who does run a business and has I think maybe 25 employees, I don't know, we're expanding. I understand people run businesses differently and have different priorities. Here's the thing. I would genuinely still, Daily Wire, Jeremy, love to sit down at the table and explain to you how you can make all of this work, how you can scale what we do and not have to be beholden to the people who we all go out and claim that we're fighting, and especially with all of the financial resources that you have, which, by the way, are very impressive. And by the way, since fielding requests for people who sent this in you guys are under these kinds of contracts, right? You've sent in your emails. If you're looking to either join a network or looking to navigate these contracts, we've been flooded. I'm going to try and get to all of you. But
no
thanks. Let me
thanks.
give you my word right now. My word. Everyone, you can timestamp it, call me on it. Here at Mug Club, we will never take any ownership over your social media platforms or your channels, and I don't want a dime ever of your YouTube revenue. You make your own decision as to whether you want to be monetized or not. Some people want to, some people don't. I just have a problem with requiring that you do. And
I can't wait. All the fucking little mini fucking Crowders sprouting their fucking word everywhere, and like, oh God, I want to talk to some of those people. Oh.
Daily Wire, to the rest of the people out there, give me a call. And look, let me put it this way. If you give me your word, this is all that matters here. Just give me your word that there will never be a clause in a contract again for some unsuspecting kid or someone who doesn't have the luxury to walk away from $50 million, as I did. True, guilty as charged. Give me your word that...
Oh, hey, at least he admitted it. Shit, finally.
You will not penalize them 25% for demonetization, another 20% for a strike, another 20% for Facebook, Spotify, Apple, up to 80%. Just give me your word that that clause, that spirit will not be in any contract sent out to anyone else who's at the front lines fighting for this country, and we're done. All of this stops right now. You will never
fighting for this country. Like, you know why you don't want this.
Hear from me again. I will go out and sing your praises. You can pick up the phone. You have my word. That's all it is. That's all this is about. In the interim, to everyone else, stopbigcon.com. Be a signatory. I'll see you Monday. Tim Pool.
Nice. Oh, he's going on Tim Pool on Monday? That's gonna be funny. Alright, let's get back to the other video.
October 5th is when we sent him this term sheet offering him $50 million over 4 years plus a 2-year extension for $25 million. You know, basketball player type money. On November 2nd, Stephen called up Jeremy and said, I want $30 million a year and a bunch of changes to the term sheet. I'm not going to redline the term sheet. I'm not going to edit the term sheet. I just want you to send me a brand new offer. On November 6th, 4 days later, remember, this is after he's already sounded off. He's got the term sheet. He's had it for a month. November 6th was election night. You'll recall, if you're a Daily Wire fan, Stephen Crowder appeared on our election night coverage. Everything was very friendly. Everything was very chummy. Everything was great. November 14th or thereabouts, we decided that we couldn't meet his demands. That his demands were not rational in business terms, that he wanted too much money, and all the rest of it. So we let him know, no hard feelings. We're still friends, just like we do in every contract negotiation. as Tim Pool said on his show last night, we've had contract negotiations with Tim, and we disagreed, and we went our separate ways, and we still liked him, Tim still likes us, and all the rest. Okay, so November 14th or thereabouts, we told Steven that we couldn't meet his demands. Fast forward another month, December 12th, he registered the site Stop Big Con. Okay, that's when he registered it. Remember, October 5th is when he received the terms. November 14th is when we said we could not meet his demands. December 12th is when he registered Stop Big Con because he knew that 3 days later he was going to be announcing that he was leaving the Blaze, he needed a plan, and attacking us was the plan. December 15th, he announced...
Did he announce it? I'm getting too... I don't care enough to... I'm just going to keep surface level with this.
Leaving the Blaze. A month after that, he texted Jeremy in friendly fashion to ask if they could talk. On January 9th, he called Jeremy and proceeded to tape him. Without permission, without Jeremy's knowledge, he proceeded to tape a person who was supposedly his friend. And remember, this is all based on the passion of the upset that he had over a term sheet that was submitted to him.
look at his face. He's about to cry over here. He's my precious Crowder. We were gonna make him such a beautiful star. He was a good kid. I loved him. I loved him more than my wife. Dude, calm down. You love...
On October 5th. It is a month. It's actually 36 days after. So January 17th is when he launches Stop Big Con. So just to get this straight, just to get the timeline straight, because this is what we would call a premeditated move in an attempt to grow your email list. This means 104 days elapsed between when Steven Crowder received the term sheet that we submitted to him and when he launched Stop Big Con. 104 days. And it means that 36 days elapsed between when he decided to attack Daily Wire and Jeremy by purchasing Stop Big Con and when he called Jeremy to tape him. So that means well over 3 months elapsed, again, between when he received this egregiously evil term sheet, which, by the way, is not egregiously evil. The term sheet is perfectly legitimate. It was the basis for further negotiation. There have been moves on both sides, but there's nothing wrong with saying to a person who produces a show, one, you have to produce a certain number of shows, and if you don't, we're not going to pay you for the shows that you don't produce. And two, if your show begins to lose money, you also lose money. This is how business works. This is how the media works. This is how capitalism works. We are not communists. We do not pay people in order to not generate revenue. We cannot run a business.
That pays in order to not generate revenue. Yep, communism is when you give people free shit. Which is true.
And keep it functional and employ 300 people and have the money to spend on all the wonderful projects that we like to do, on the $100 million we're going to spend on kids content, on the suing of Joe Biden's administration, on any, we can't do any of that stuff unless we are a profitable company.
Suing Joe Biden's administration, that's going nowhere.
That means this is totally premeditated. It is an attempt to grow an email list by deliberately misconstruing terms of a perfectly legitimate, non-binding term sheet for a person that I personally and Jeremy, have gone out of our way to help multiple times. A person who then claims that we are the big shills for YouTube, right? We're the ones who are shilling for big tech. So what's his claim on that? His claim is that we're shilling for big tech by saying that if you get banned from YouTube and we lose money because of that, then you also lose money. Well, I noticed that someone else makes the vast bulk of his living via the exposure he receives on YouTube, and his name is Steven Crowder. Steven has a bigger following on YouTube than I do. He has a massive following on YouTube. He's a YouTube superstar. He has 6 million followers on YouTube. He doesn't want to be banned on YouTube.
Crowder
By the way, he doesn't have to be demonetized in order to continue.
Yes, I agree. Crowder is a poo-poo head. You're 100% right. Unsatiable 17676.
Does not mean that he doesn't indirectly make money on YouTube. The exposure he receives on YouTube allows him to push people to Mug Club. He knows this. This is why he has a piss off YouTube segment, which is smart. Right? He does the same thing on his show that I do on my show. Exactly the same thing. You will hear me on the show when I discuss COVID. I'm about to say a bunch of things I can't say on YouTube. So head on over to Daily Wire Plus and subscribe and hear the rest of it.
Wait, sorry.
Steven does the same.
I just realized something. Hold on. I forgot to put this here.
Thing. He says, I'm going to have my piss off YouTube segment in which he avoids saying the things that will get him permanently banned on YouTube, but directs people to his site. So is he a shill for big tech? Is he a shill for big tech? Because if he were really not a shill for big tech, apparently, he would just say whatever he wants any day. He would just say it any day. And if they knock him off, they knock him off.
Well, you were going to pay it. That's what he was expecting that money for him to say whatever the fuck he wanted on YouTube and get away with it without getting monetized. Didn't Steven Crowder have every Friday off in his contract and made millions, but it wasn't enough? Wait, is that true? Hold on. I haven't read the contract yet. I have to, after we finished the video, I was going to take a look at it.
Not doing that because he's not a moron. Steven's not a moron. He apparently is just a bad person who tapes his friends and then releases the
No, he's pretty much a fucking moron. He's pretty fucking stupid.
tapes for personal gain. I'm personally insulted by Steven's behavior here. I'm more
He's
insulted.
so
It has nothing to do with me
sad.
because he hasn't actually said anything about me.
Dude only had to work 4 days out of the week and made millions. Dude already makes millions. He could stop me. He could literally make. He can really make so many videos. Like make a video once a month and still like be able to just sit back on his couch and look at like old blackface and laugh like his hardest. All they asked was not to say ban-worthy commentary. Yeah, true.
It has to do with you don't get to attack my best friend and suggest that my best friend is some sort of shill for big tech when we spend every day, literally every day in this business, attempting to fight big tech and to win. When we spend every day trying to bring good content to people who can't get it in a lot of other ways and build a business, who go out of our way to make offers to people for tens of millions of dollars so they can continue to promote to provide the content that you want. Tens of millions of dollars to people like Steven Crowder. I don't see a lot of other people walking across the table to make this offer to Steven Crowder. The easiest thing to do in our particular industry is to attack your friends and make money off of that. The hardest thing to do in our industry is to win at business and to win against the left, and those two things are simultaneous.
Win against the left. Fucking all the fucking bullshit y'all spout. Yeah, you make it hard for the left to do anything.
Because if you lose money, you can't keep operating and fight the agenda of the left. You know, it makes me nauseous to be talking about this, honestly.
He's so heartbroken. His bed is empty at night. he looks out the window, missing Crowder's supple touch.
It makes me sick to be talking about this. I'm sad for Steven that he feels the necessity to plan for months apparently to attack his friends, to try to grow an email list in the most cynical possible fashion, and tape his friends on the phone, and then release that public. Who does that? Who does that?
Who does?
Is that something you do? I'm just asking you on a personal level. Have you ever done that? Have you ever taped your friends? Is that a thing that you do?
Actually, I did tape my friends once. We got super high, and I thought it'd be funny to hear what we were saying, stoned off our asses. And I still have that recording too. It's pretty stupid what we were saying. Anyway, I want to see this contract. I want to just look at a little bit through it. It's not here either. Ben lied. Want to work for the Daily Wire? No, I do not. Yeah, it's not here. He said it was in the. In the link.
November 6th was election night.
Yeah, okay, this is the same video. He said it was in. Okay. Fucking. No, I don't care that much. I'm just gonna let it go. It's not worth it. Play it. I already did. If you want to see it, it's on. You can go to YouTube and rewatch it. So anyway, yeah, that's the gist. Steven Crowder wants to be unlimitedly offensive, racist, sexist, bigoted. Like he just wants to be super bigot on YouTube and get away with it. What do you usually think about when you're high? What do I usually think about? I don't know. Like, I like laughing really hard when I'm high. It's really, that's the best thing. If I can get like a really good laugh when I'm high, it's the best. Like I like tears coming out of my eyes, like laughing. That's the best shit in the world, dude. I don't like the guys who always complain about the weed and can't enjoy it. I always complain about the weed. Well, I actually haven't like smoked in a while. It's I don't know. It's not as fun as it used to, unfortunately.
want to look
You know who I really, you know who I really like though. I'm just really, and I really want to see what he's been doing for Michael Knowles. I like it's so crazy, and I really just want to. I just want to really see. I just really want to see what he's been doing. This.
So, like,
What's this?
you sure, like, we can park in front of your mama's shit? No, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want her coming out here, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? You know. Hey. Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. Who was that? It was a Ford Explorer. I thought it was the cops.
No, no joke. At nighttime when I'm driving, I fucking hate it when I'm going when I have to drive around I have to drive around a white Ford Explorer, because that's the scariest shit in the world. It's like a 50-50 chance they could be a cop, and they always had their fucking lights on so high like a damn cop. I don't know if it's intentional, like the dickhead driving. It's just like, hey, I'm just gonna trick it. I'm just gonna fuck with this kid. I don't know. That's how I feel.
I'm tripping.
This is my friend. This is my best friend.
Bro, I don't know what that is, but Look.
Like every time he'll start like hacking up a storm.
So, bro, you still talk to old girl? I ain't wanna ask and cross no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Right. She was stressing you out. Yeah. You was hitting me up to smoke every day. Yeah, she was stressing you out. Oh my God, where did it go? I just liked the post. Oh my God, bro.
He said.
Ah! Oh my God. He's saying. He be repeating. Gotta get out the car. Be getting this from, bro. No, this ain't Runtz, bro.
This is my other friend.
I don't know what that is you just gave me. That's not no gas. It don't hit. It don't hit like that shit I had last week with you. Nah, that don't hit. What is that? Bro, this crack. Let the window down. Let the window down, cause I don't even want to hotbox with that shit. That shit not even like that. I'm getting a headache.
Nice. So, but anyway, I really think Nicola Knowles is really funny to me. I don't know why. Which one are you? The one that laughs a lot. I laugh at everything. It's like the best thing to do. But especially when you have a brownie. When you have a brownie, dude, I have like that's when the tears come out of my eyes. It's the funniest. It's fucking hilarious. Let's see, gay couple allegedly pinned out. Adopted Canadian sports anchor has a meltdown over a hockey player not wearing pride. I want to see one where he gets really mad. It's maybe the biggest sex censorship threat you've heard of. This one has a lot of views. I want to take a look at this one.
Angela Bassett just won a Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes. You didn't catch the broadcast? Okay, me neither. But I saw the clip, and I really, really loved this clip because Angela Bassett's speech was a real example of a class act, okay? And she addressed this topic. As we're talking now about how some people are clamoring for reparations to the tune of $5 million because their 10 times great-grandfather was a slave or something. Angela Bassett, instead of...
Yeah, I don't like reparations like that. Reparations should be done, and it should go to re-infrastructure planning.
Focusing on resentment, as so many people do now, at award ceremonies in particular, on the sports fields, in public life. Angela Bassett focused on the opposite, gratitude.
In order for that destiny to manifest, I think that it requires courage, to have faith, It requires.
Wait, oh, he's talking positively about this. No, I want to see him get mad about something. Alright, this one then.
I just read the most disturbing story, maybe that I have ever read.
This is the most disturbing story you ever read. Just like that pamphlet in his fucking political compass test that he did. He said that was the most disgusting thing he's ever read. It was about safe sex for COVID-19. So I guess he's found something even worse to be like the most disgusted over. To gay people, a gay couple abusing a child, which is pretty fucked up, by the way. However, straight parents do that too.
Most disturbing news story. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to go too into detail at all because this is just horrifying. It's by Mia Cathell on Town Hall. I hope I'm not mispronouncing Mia's last name. Headline tapes: we investigated a suburban LGBT pedophile ring. Here's what we found. And it's a story of these two guys, these two gay guys who are in a gay marriage, and they adopted children.
He really has to bring that out. Yeah.
Two male children. They adopted the children from a nominally Christian adoption agency. Obviously, a Christian adoption agency that endorses same-sex marriage adoption. It would be hard for me to understand how that's a Christian adoption agency, but they do it.
Because they're affiliated with the Church of Christ. What do you mean? They're Christian. What do you mean? Like they go to church. They have Christian moral values, but you know they can't just bar people from gay people from adopting. They can make it hard, but they can't just flat out tell them no.
And then the guys just constantly raped the children, just very young children. Now that the guys have been caught, the children are ages 9 and 11. They bragged about raping the children. They made, all sorts of videos and things. They invited their friends to do it. That's if you want to read the grisly details, it's over at Town Hall. You can give it a read. Not for the faint of heart, so I don't necessarily recommend you do it. Obviously, these men, if they are guilty of what they are accused of doing, obviously they should be executed. There's no question about it.
Executed? Damn. So should straight parents be executed for when they do that to their adopted children? No, I'm pretty sure he would say no. He'd think they'd be imprisoned, but I don't think he'd say they should be executed because it's not about the raping children part. It's the part about them being gay and raping children. And even then, I'm pretty sure they don't even care about that. He's defended underage shit before.
That, as far as I'm concerned, even if you are a little worried about the death penalty, and even if you have objections to the death penalty, which I do not, I think the death penalty is perfectly just and legitimate and Christian and acceptable. But even if you do, one, I think, irrefutable argument for the death penalty beyond mere retribution, which I think is ultimately the point of all criminal justice, but beyond that, you would have to say that for the purposes of protecting the public from the further predations of these animals, these absolute criminals, the death penalty would be justified. At the very least to protect people, if not purely for the purpose of justice and retribution, at least to protect people. And with the way that our...
Justice and retribution. I don't know about you guys, but killing people doesn't make me feel better to punish people. It certainly doesn't deter shit. I don't get why he thinks that killing people... He just likes seeing people die. He just likes seeing black people and poor people die. That's it. That's all he cares. That's all. Like right now, that's what's going through his head right now. He's trying to picture it. He's trying so hard to picture it. But he needs to see it in front of him. He's trying... You see that face? He's trying to go, oh, look what his hand is. Look where that hand is. He's thinking about murdering somebody right now, and he's trying to jerk off to it.
Justice system works now. If these pedos go to prison, well, if there were justice in the prison system, they would not last very long in prison. But if they did make it, they'd be let out. They'd be let out. We don't keep crime.
Yes. When you spend your time in prison, you do your time, and then you get let out. That's how it works, Michael Knowles.
In jail in this country. Not these days. So they probably would be let out, and what would they do? They'd do it again. So sure, I think most reasonable people agree these two men should be executed very swiftly.
No. They should be barred from adopting. I think that's fair. They obviously shown that. I'd still the same standards for people who were straight. But remember, he wants to execute gay people. He's thinking about putting them in a camp right now. He's got a little diorama. Look where his eyes are. It's at the diorama. It's the diorama for the camp. It's the diorama for the camp he's looking at.
For what they did. But when will we address the broader issues?
What broader issue? What broader issue?
Are we going to address the broader issue? Are we willing to end the absurd and barbaric practice of same-sex and...
Barbaric practice? This dude is fucking evil.
Single-parent adoption? And certainly when it comes to single-parent adoption, certainly single male-parent adoption.
It's all like... It wasn't... Men just shouldn't be around kids. He's submitting it right there. He knows he can't be around a child. He'd start raping it.
I think single-parent adoption generally should be discouraged, if not just made illegal outright. Certainly same-sex adoption should be illegal. A child has a right...
Why? So, wait a minute. So, men can't... Okay, single men can't adopt, but single women can. But same-sex couples, so two women can't adopt either. So everybody should be just raised by just a woman, like everyone should have their own Mother Teresa, even though she wasn't that great either. But like, we should all have. Everybody should just have one fucking mother take care of them, no father whatsoever. Even though conservatives have problems with fathers not being in the home and thinking that makes them gay. Oh my god, these people are so fucking stupid. They say such the dumbest shit off the fly. If I challenged him on it, he couldn't be able to defend himself. This man's retarded.
Right to his natural mother and father, to be conceived within the context of a marriage and in the conjugal act of his parents.
Remember, it takes a village to raise a child.
We know that there are something like 36 couples trying to adopt every newborn baby put up for adoption in the United States. There's no shortage of mommies and daddies married to one another who want to adopt babies. Okay, there's no shortage of that.
And there's no short of daddies and daddies. There's no short of mommies and mommies. There's no short of any type of couple that wants to adopt children. There are so many kids that have to sit in adoption, sit in foster homes, and be treated like shit. And all they want, and they're loving families who are ready to adopt. And sometimes we get bad apples like these fucking jokers. But we also get heterosex bad couples that do bullshit to kids. But no, he only wants to do this because he hates gay people. And it's all because Michael Knowles is a bottom, and he's ashamed of it.
At all. And yet, because of wokeness and political correctness, we've got to say, no, well, we shouldn't discriminate against gay men or single parents who want to...
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Adopt. But of course we should, because it's not about the adults. Whether they want to satisfy the most horrific lusts they could have, or whether they just want a kid and they didn't get married and they just want to have a kid. We know that it is better for a child to be raised in a marriage, in a real marriage with a mother and a father.
Real marriage with a mother and a father. Again, nuclear families aren't that old. Back in medieval times, they used to be raised by anybody. Before that, it was more communal. Always remember that.
And so, at the very least, for newborn babies, where the situation is really, really straightforward, we should prioritize the children over the parents. No question about that. We're not allowed to say that. That's not politically correct. We're not allowed to point out that...
Prioritize the children over the parents? Conservatives think their children are like their little fucking play dolls. They'll say like, I don't have a dog near me. Fuck. Hold on. When they see their child, wait, hold on. This is what they think. This is my child. Look at him. I wanted him to have this on. I don't have one I can take off. This joke's going bad. Okay, stop. Anyway, Yeah, they treat them like dolls. They think that they're like little dolls that they can play around with and do whatever the fuck they want with them.
Child sex abuse is much more prevalent among LGBT identified people. I'm not saying all gay guys.
Now that is not true. If he's referring to the old study where it found that young boys, well, it basically says like 80% of all gay people are 80% of pedophiles were gay people, but the study didn't account for the sexuality of the man who was raping the child. And it turned out that no, pedophilia is a type of sexuality in and of itself, and it doesn't matter the gender of the child. But you know, he'll obfuscate the truth because it's more convenient for him to do so.
Are child abusers? Obviously, that is not the case. The vast majority of gay guys are not child abusers. But the numbers are the numbers. The LGBT identification in the United States is 7.1%. That's according to Gallup. According to the Williams Institute at UCLA Law, so not some far-right think tank, according to a very liberal, storied institution, 20% of registered sex offenders identify as LGBT. We're not.
What about the other 80%? Is the other 80% not LGBT? 20? Okay. It's still a minority. This dude will do anything just to see gay people like strung up and fucking shot at.
We're allowed to say that. We're not allowed to confront that fact because it's politically incorrect. So what happens? These stories pop up and you don't read about it.
No, we engage with it.
You read about it in town hall, maybe you hear it on my show, and that's it, and it gets buried. For what? So
okay, what do you want to do with that information? What do you want to do about that? Okay, the 20%, so what? What do you want to do about that? People are fucked. Some people are fucked up. And not only... Wait a minute, hold on. Heterosexual people are more likely to get away with that. Do you know how many stories you hear of people of children coming out and saying that they were raped by their fucking uncle? Children who come out and say like in conservative households who had to deal with that bullshit, and they just get away with it because it's too late to do anything about it after they're out and free. Keep in mind, he's talking about registered sex offenders. There are people in this country who aren't registered sex offenders and have done bullshit to fucking children. But Michael Knowles doesn't care about that. He just cares about, you know... How many times do I have to say that they want... How many different ways can I say that gay people... that they just want gay people to die before it becomes boring? I think that's enough times, me pointing it out.
We can continue perpetuating lies that harm all of society, that harms certain people specifically, but harm all of us when we are forced to live in a culture of lies. We should say no to that.
Nice. Dang. Sad, because I've seen really funny videos of him, dude. That one wasn't really that funny. It's 9:45. I think it's about time I switch things up. I think we're done with the politics stuff, so I can start recording. And I can start playing some Wind Waker. See how far I get. We're gonna play until 10:30, so that's about 45 minutes. Oh, excuse me. And unsaddleable 1776. It was nice talking to you, man. Honestly. Ever think about following me? Be a pretty cool dude. I'd love you for it. I would love you anyway because you gave me such a fun time. But I'd love you a lot more. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me change up things in the stream. Let me update the title for a second. Actually, hold on. I need to go get my Pro controller before I do it. Of course. Button configuration wants to mess up. Hold on. Can you tell me what is wrong with the crazy Canadian socialists? They have some brain damage. Crazy Canadian socialists. Gnarl left. I don't really know. I mean, I like Lance of the Serfs. He's pretty cool. Hold on. This is this. Like, did something happen in Canada recently? Did something crazy happen that I could talk about? Let me know before I start up this game. Which is filled with them. They ban me immediately when I say I don't like socialism. Well, why don't you like socialism, friend? You want to talk about that? We can talk about that while I play video games. If my controller will work. Because it's creating monster governments that controls your every fart. Yeah. My dude, you want to talk? No, you literally want to talk about it on Discord with me. I'd love to have you on. Gosh, dude. It's not responding. I'm not talking to Discord person. That's fine. Well, okay. More chatting. All right. I mean, we can talk about socialism here. So they banned me and me. Oh wait, hold on. Because it's creating monster governments that controls you every far. Can you give me some specific examples of countries that you think are socialist? I live in Georgia. Like Georgia the state? Oh, Georgia was part of the USSR. So you think the USSR was socialist? Now, okay, so the USSR is socialist. I don't believe social. Okay, I want to talk about this the best way I possibly can. My grandfather was killed because he owned fabric by communists. Well, the USSR wasn't socialist. It was state capitalist, for one. Socialism is worker-controlled means of production and abolition of the commodity form. And Stalin did not allow for any of that. What he instead did is the same ideology. It was the same rhetoric and based on Marx. Yes, he used the same ideology of Marx. However, he didn't do anything that Marx proposed. Instead, he rolled all the power of the market into the state to control it from that point on. Marx. Okay. Hold on. Now I actually want to go through this. And my computer and my thing's not working, so we're just going to do this. First of all, economy cannot handle socialism. Second of all, who is the ideal human being who be a leader in the regime? Third of all, it's the end of individualism. Okay, the economy can't handle socialism. Well, by every metric, I want to do econ now. I'm going to go to Google Scholar. Mises destroy socialism at its force. Mises destroy socialism at its force? I don't even understand what you mean. Oh, at its core. What are Mises? First of the economy cannot handle socialism. Well, how can the economy handle socialism if it's just democratic control of the means of production? Worker control means of production and democratically owned, it'd just be democratically owned firms, And instead of having an autocratic like business structure of a traditional form where one person or a collective few are at the top and control everything at the bottom, it's instead spread out equally distributed for the corporation. Here's a really good video right here. Hold on, I have to put this on my actual YouTube, otherwise it won't work. We can watch together. We can. Let's watch together.
You see? It's a revolution. Capitalism's days are numbered.
Then there goes our freedom. If socialism wins, America loses.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
And our civilization. Learn some history. Private property and free markets built modern-day society.
Yeah, and modern society is the problem.
That is true. But capitalism did build societies, and Marx also believed that capitalism was a good way of moving people out of poverty. But, however, things change. We can't keep the same system forever. We didn't have capitalism forever. Before laissez-faire capitalism, we had mercantile capitalism, where merchants worked with the king and the crown. And before that, we had feudalism, where the crown controlled everything, and you had to work in the fields or you get killed by a knight.
Super March of history.
Things change and get better.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show, boys.
Look at this theater. Look at all of this plenty. This is capitalism.
So capitalism's diabetes? Shh. Got it. Sorry. Your whole world is coming apart. I pity you.
America is once again at ideological war. After decades of post-war consensus, the great debate between capitalism and socialism has captured the public square. And no two men have more fervently fought this battle than socialist philosopher Karl Marx and classical liberal economist Ludwig von Mises.
I don't know. What's the other guy's name? I don't know who that is. Hold on, what did he say?
Karl Marx and classical liberal economist Ludwig von Mises.
Ludwig von Mises. Oh, this is the guy you're referring to. Mises written and lectured offensively in the societal contributions of classical liberalism. He's best known for the work of ideology studies comparing communism and capitalism. He considered one of those influential thinkers of the 20th century. Seemed like an interesting dude.
Marx versus Mises. Mises versus Marx. The march of history continues.
Workers of the world, assemble. It's time for the ruling classes to tremble. I'm the people's hero.
I don't know if I can get through this video. Is it really just going to be rapping for the rest of it?
The MVP, M-A-R-X, yeah, you know me. Let's go back to when men were free. We hunted and gathered communally, but get ready, cause here comes the twist. A villain appears, called a capitalist. He puts the proletariat in chains, exploits our labor in pockets of gains. Through slick ads, he tricks lads and ladies in kind. Selling fake needs, he poisons our hearts and minds. He rots our soul through alienation, pursuing limitless accumulation. He works us into an early grave through
Yeah, all of this is true though. Capitalists steal or the biggest thieves the biggest thieves when it comes to labor. Like people will work hard over hours, be paid minimum wages, which have not kept up with inflation, and now inflation's even worse than what it was about a few years ago. So now we have to deal with that. They make millions of dollars profiting off the backs of other people's labor, and they make you work longer hours, harder shifts, and keep you alienated from society. Do you know do you know how many people are struggling right now, working 2 jobs, barely able to keep ends meet every day? Like, what he's saying is true, even though I can't stand the rapping part. None of that was wrong.
Debt steals back the money we save. Greed is the gospel. Profit. The rich get richer through graft and fraud. The poor get poorer, but you don't care. Doesn't that sound laissez unfair? 200 years I've been singing this song. Now my chorus is 99%.
Yeah, bigger risk creating businesses than workers that assembling something. Okay, yeah, okay. But what does that have to do with their labor? They took a risk. And took a risk. First of all, most people that make money, like with the exception of like maybe Bill Gates, and fucking Elon Musk, what is that nigga's name? Amazon, from Amazon, Jeff Bezos, like fucking, what is that other guy's name? But these two, they didn't accumulate their money through like taking risks. Their parents gave them money. They were both two people. One, Elon Musk comes from fucking like people in the like the mines of South Africa, the ruby mines. That's where he got his money. And Jeff Bezos was funded by his parents. And them assembling, that's not labor. Like they take the risk, yes, but there's people who are working every day to make their profits for them. They can sit back and do absolutely nothing while the people under them have to work to make money.
It's time to repent. Your moment is over. Your capital spent.
This is history's lesson. You think he's right? Guess in. All we want is progression. We've had bourgeois oppression. So we look for the truth as we tighten our boots. Who's right, who's wrong? Left, right, left, now the march is on.
Guten Tag, Marx. Nice to meet ya. My name's Ludwig. Call me teacher. The master of markets. The Austrian boss. You don't like profits? Well, let's talk loss. The problem with your plan is nobody wins except Stalin, Pol Pot, Ho Chi Minh, Lenin, Mugabe. Remember Berlin? They built a wall to keep their people in. Your theories have a rotten foundation.
Okay, but can you substantiate how that led to that? Because I can substantiate how these leaders were able to prop themselves up and utilize the rhetoric that people who are actually socialists use. Because it's workers, what is it called? It's workers, it's the, oh my fucking gosh. It's populism rhetoric. God, I'm fucking stupid. It's the rhetoric, it's populism, using that rhetoric and utilizing it. The Nazis did the same thing. They utilized socialist rhetoric in order to take power. But they're not mentioning that because they didn't go full on communism. They like, none of this has anything to do with communism. They're fucking socialism and communism is the destruction of hierarchies. These are nothing but hierarchies at their worst form. Autocratic. They're fascist. They're fascist movements. They're nothing but fascist painted red. They took this and twisted it and created a monster. I don't know who this is. I'm learning stuff today, and I like it. Schoenberg is a concept and philosophy of French Liechtenstein and a book that spoke itself. English translation. Uber. Uber can be have combinations with superiority. Oh, the Ubermensch. Is recommended by Hitler and Nazi regime to describe the idea of superior version of Nietzsche's super so came philosophical foundation and national socialist ideas. Master race is fun. Yeah. Nazis are pretty fucking evil, dude.
Built on control, not cooperation. Centralized power completely corrupts. Real people suffer. Violence erupts. Your system depends on the very same people you decry as greedy, bourgeois, and evil. If we're not fit to run our own lives, why would you expect our votes to be wise? If you really want to help people rise up, unleash the free market, let their lives up. It was capitalism, not a socialist plan. Saved billions in India, China, Japan.
So, wait a minute. He attacked the concept of democracy there. Hold on.
Mugabe, remotation. Built on control, not cooperation. Centralized power completely corrupts. Real people suffer. Violence erupts. Your system depends on the very same people you decry as greedy, bourgeois, and evil. If we're not fit to run our own lives, why would you expect our votes to be wise? If you really...
So yeah, he's attacking democracy right there. No, what? If you don't, like, he's literally saying that if you don't think we can control our lives, why should we have democracy? I don't agree with that at all. No. What? No. He is not selling me on being a capitalist again. I'm telling you that much. Yes, capitalism is good for building up wealth. I'm not disagreeing with that. However, it's still autocratic and undemocratic. I like freedom. I like freedom maximized, and socialism is the next step to freedom maximized. And I'm sorry if you don't feel that way, but that's just how it goes. We went from feudalism to mercantile capitalism to laissez-faire capitalism, and hopefully the next one is socialism. I agree with that. That's very contradictory. There is a thing called anarcho-capitalism. It's really... No, we're not getting to anarcho-capitalism. No, anarcho-capitalism. No, it's... I'm sorry. No, ANCAPs are not my friend. I'm not a big fan of that. Anarcho-capitalism just basically means gives free range to corporations so that they can rebuild corporate towns. There can be a power vacuum, and they take over a part of the country, have their own private military, and do whatever the fuck they want in that part of the country. It's just recreating a government with more corporate instillings. It's no. I don't like anarcho-capitalism. It creates a power vacuum that allows for like a lot worse of what a state can do because there's nothing but a money incentive driving them. That's cynicism. You're talking about anarcho-syndicalism? No, what? That's not anarcho-syndicalism. I can't spell this in my life. philosophy and another school of thought that views revolutionary industrial unionism or syndicalism as a method for workers in capitalist society to gain control of the economy, thus control the influence of broader society. The end goal of syndicalism is to abolish the wage system, regarding it as wage slavery, anarcho-system. Yeah, labor movements reflecting anarcho philosophy, primary inspiration corrupts that any higher ideas of power corrupts, and that any hierarchy that cannot be ethically justified must be dismantled. Yeah, no, this is not anarcho-syndicalism. Anarcho-capitalism is free market, no government, free business for everyone. Yes, and what happens when a business gets big enough to start having its own private police force and controlling a portion of a country? Right here, it says that hierarchy cannot be ethically justified, must be dismantled. And that is nothing but an unjust hierarchy. When there's nothing but free market, when it's just the free market controlling everything, you get corporate towns. And from corporate towns, you can make a private police force and allow for you to have your own little mini anarcho-capitalist state, which I'm not for, because it's nothing but a profit motive.
This is history's lesson. The market's a blessing. Let's pursue our expression. Living free from aggression. So we look for the truth. With the freedom to choose. Who's right, who's wrong? Left, right, left, now the march is on.
Free marketeers love to play this game. Mao kills millions, Marx gets blamed. It's deceptive, dishonest, plain unfair. Did I drive the tanks at Tiananmen Square? Man, I'm a humanist. You can check my receipts, but you gotta break eggs if you wanna eat. Don't like violence? Admit defeat.
Yeah, that's true. Marx gets blamed for that. That's because they utilized his rhetoric to push for a fascist agenda.
I'll call this revolution complete. Till then, let's get a few things straight. I'm not shaping the future, I'm embracing our fate. My utopian forebears weren't that specific, but this analysis is highly scientific. Every social system has governing laws. Capitalism? Doomed because the system generated its own fatal flaws by uniting workers in a common cause. Thanks to you, we have all the wealth we need to seize control and eradicate greed. The people are rejecting your bourgeois lies. Real Marxism has never been tried. Equality.
Yes, Marxism has never been tried. There's no socialist. There's never been a socialist country. The closest we've gotten was probably Cuba, and even then, it's still not socialist.
Is the core of my creed. From this one's ability to that one's need. Our healthcare, finance, and industry. Let's collectivize and set ourselves free.
Your standard refrain, oh, that's not the real thing. The most common verse all your followers sing. The closer we get to your ideal system, further we go down the road to serfdom. The empirical record can't be denied.
Serfdom? How are we getting closer to serfdom? How are we back to the serf? Wait, what? We're not. How are we going backwards from socialism? With socialism, serfdom. No. What? That's feudalism.
Don't work, but they just won't die. Attention! This is not breaking news. Jevons and Menger lit that fuse. Now here comes the bomb via von Bonn. He blew up your system, exposed the core work. The heart of your theory is exploitation of surplus value. That's a bogus equation. You can't explain value by measuring the cost of labor. That theory of value is lost favor. Value is subjective by every measure. One man's trash is another man's treasure. There's no exploitation if two people...
Value is subjective. Okay. Let's say, for an example, I start a business. I create a business where I sell bikes. Now, I hire two guys to make bikes as well, to sell bikes as well. They make the bikes and they help sell them. Now, I have nothing to do but sit back, play video games, and collect a check as these guys build and sell bikes for me. And as it goes on and on, I get more people hired to work for it. Now, let me ask you something. Is it fair that I get to sit back on my ass and collect a check because I created the business? To an extent, no. Not at all. At one point, I did deserve getting money. But me owning a business is not labor. I'm not producing anything there. I'm not gaining. No one is gaining anything from me doing anything. I'm sitting there collecting a check while these people are working hard for probably minimum wage, maybe a little bit more depending on how well the bike shop does. But as long as I know I'm making the better profit motive, no, you don't sit on your ass. You are worrying about your business every day. You're thinking about investing in the risk every day. That's not how business works. Worrying about a business every day. You're right. You are worrying about a business profit motive. But the profit motive does not help anybody but yourself. Because you're not paying your workers more when your profits go up. And I'm not worrying about my business if I know that my business is still making a profit. Not every corporate, and I'm talking about a small. Not every business has investors. I'm talking about a small bike shop. Also, fuck the stock market. I hate the stock market. The stock market is nothing but manipulating money to make it so line go up for rich people and line stay stagnant for the middle class. You're risking a lot of money. You have concurrence that will defeat your business in the very moment you relax. Yeah, which is why there shouldn't be a I wish I could just talk to you. Like, instead of with these back and forths. Your concurrence will defeat your business in very moment you relax. You're right. When Jeff Bezos relaxes, Amazon falls. Except that's not what happens. Amazon stays high and the profit motives stay high. Nothing can tear down Amazon. Literally nothing. It is a monopoly on business. On online sales. It followed Walmart's business practices to a T, undercutting everything, selling everything at a low profit margin, and doing nothing but getting more and more profit. And its workers haven't reached any of that profit at all. It's all gone to the top. And that's why, for a certain time, Jeff Bezos was the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos is a hawk who fought many battles to be at this very point. What battles? What battles did he fight? His first company failed, yes. And then he made Amazon, and that skyrocketed off. At no point in Jeff Bezos' life, did he have to worry about being rich because his parents would have helped him out. And right now, Jeff Bezos gets to be a billionaire while all his workers can't go to the bathroom. If you work at an Amazon fulfillment center and you go to the bathroom too much, you lose your fucking job. And that's not even if you can go once a week, maybe. And if not, you gotta shit in the fucking corner and keep moving. There was literally talks about putting people in cages. Fuck Jeff Bezos, I'm not his advocate, but more rich people you have in your country, better you live that simple law of economy. Wait, what? You have in your country, but more rich people you have in your country, better you live that simple law of economy. Simple law of economy. My dude, I'm not here for business owners getting richer. I'm here for the common man doing better in their life. And right now, hold on for 1 second. And right now, the wealth inequality that the common man has in this country right now is fucking ridiculous. Businessman creating jobs for common man to work. Okay? You can do that with a co-op. You can do that with a co-op. Co-ops do better than traditional firms. In their first 5 years, co-ops on average do better. Instead of a traditional firm where it's top down. And they have better wages, they have higher wages, they have better benefits than traditional firms, and they all collectively own the business. So it's not just one guy at the top taking a hit and deciding, oh, well, I took a hit, time to make everyone else pay for it. No, it's all together. You can become a businessman in the U.S. It's best country. It's the best country to start a business. You live in an amazing country. Okay, I can start a business. You're right. I'd love to start a business. I would make it a co-op, though. I wouldn't make it a traditional firm. Being a businessman can be cool. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not a fun thing to do. However, you shouldn't take that and fuck with other people's lives.
Arrange voluntary exchange, man, that's not deranged. That bourgeois transaction you diss with a scarf creates benefit for both, so we're both better off. Here's the real problem, the crucial equation. Without private markets, there's no calculation to coordinate courses, allocate resources, incentivize choices because it lacks prices. What crop should I grow? Should this factory go? Should I pick a JO? How would your planners ever know? Your theory is...
How would they know? They'd hire people. They'd hire workers who engineers. My brother is an engineer. He does stuff like that, land surface, and he's the one going out there doing the labor. Yeah, some guy's paying him to do it, but he's the one who's doing out the labor. He's the one doing it all on his own, while this other guy sits there and watches him do it and profits off of what he did for them.
It's a bundle of confusion. Socialism got crushed by the marginal revolution.
This is history's lesson. All we want is progression. Let's pursue our expression. Living free from aggression. So we look for the truth. As we tighten the boots. Who's right, who's wrong? Left, right, now the march is on.
We're all better off. Are you kidding me, Mises? My immiseration thesis tears you to pieces. Your economy grows, but not our wages. You call that progress? I think it's outrageous.
In 1820, everyone
True.
was poor until capitalism kicked down the door. Real wage growth, not stagnation, saved 80% of the world from starvation.
You kicked down the door.
Yes. To be honest, I don't like the left and right. They're both crazy. Well, you can only be on the left or the right. The centrists tend to be right-wing sympathizers. And if you don't believe me, 9 times out of 10, when you ask somebody whether or not they're when they say they're a centrist, and you ask them a simple question about left-right divides, they usually tend to go towards the right.
Door, but you locked us out. That's what your free market is all about. Here's what you do. On your next shopping spree, pick up this book by my boy Tommy P.
The pie can get bigger. It's not zero sum. Free markets have lifted the lowest incomes. If you really want to help out the poorest nations, encourage peace, trade, and immigration.
Coming from a country that has spread war and peace.
Really want to help out the poorest nations, encourage peace, trade, and immigration.
Okay, peace, trade, and immigration. Well, we have funded wars in South America. We don't like to bring people from South America into our country, and we only trade with countries that are willing to play ball with us. Hold on.
Are you talking to somebody?
I was talking to a chatter.
That's what I'm saying. How many people do you have listening to you now?
One person right now. The max I've gotten was 4.
Well, that's good. That's good. Go ahead. You got stuff for it.
The earth is boiling, and your solution is more production, more pollution, more cheap trinkets and bigger malls, more fossil fuels, more aerosol. What? A problem this big, we need total control. A Green New Deal to save the North Pole. We can't gamble the future on anarchy. Green's not a plan, it's insanity.
Your story's bombastic, your rhetoric's strong. There's only one problem. Your theory's wrong. The wealthiest countries do the most to conserve
Wait, what?
Oh, hello. How are you? Good.
Who is that? Sorry about that. Some crazy stuff's happening right now.
Do the most to conserve. Haven't you heard of the Kuznets curve?
Kuznets curve. I've never heard of that. No. Kuznets curve. 1957, Kuznets hypothesized that the inverted U-shaped relations exist between inequality and development. As countries develop, inequality will increase until a certain tipping point, after which it would start to fall again. What would be the point in which it would fall again? Hold on. Inequality, income per capita. Wait a minute. Where is this starting from, though? Hold on. Inequality is down here. And then it goes up as income increases. Explanation such as progression suggests that early in development, investment opportunities for those who have money multiply, while influx of cheap rural labor into the cities filter down wages, whereas the mature economies, human capital estimate the income is achieved, but not until. No. So what this is basically saying right here is that when as capital goes up, then the wages go up, and as capital goes up, wages stagnate, and then at a certain point, the wages go up again, so that way people can start making money. But that's not true. As we've seen in the past, corporations would have corporate town. Hold on. Company town.
I think he has the same jokes as you.
Company towns. And here in company towns, you wouldn't pay with money, you were paying corporate bucks, where you had to go to the commissary in the company town to buy things. And if you didn't like it, well, guess what? You can't go nowhere because all your money's from the company. So if you try to use money, if you try to use it anywhere else, you get laughed at or probably shot at because this was the 1800s. Do you know what happened? The government came in and shut that shit down.
Only wealthy societies can afford to go green. If you want a better world, see the unseen. Even carbon will bend to creative destruction with entrepreneurship in the means of production.
This is history's lesson.
us close, but to a priori. Watch me break down my dialectical story. Proletariat, bourgeoisie, them versus us, you versus me. Slave, master, lord and serf. New class battles, same old turf. We have what we need to throw the chains off us. Organize the economy like the post office. The state takes over, but that's not the whole plan. Watch it wither away and leave socialist man. Our goal is true fairness, outcomes that are equal. Capitalism over. Here's a socialist sequel.
Everybody hates each other these days. Left is shooting crap at the right, right is shooting crap at the left. They program people to hate each other. As individual people, we can sit and have a civil conversation in that respect. Wow, you really might you might just be you might be a misinformed person. I used to feel that way until I realized the right is literally evil. I'm sorry, my friend, but what's the best way to describe this to somebody? Okay, hold on. I realize both of them are evil. Well, this is still too big. Hold on. So here's the left. Here's the right. And this is where you think you are, right? So what would you try to describe yourself politically. Where would you think you'd like fall in the line? I know this is like a pretty dumb question to ask, but like I need it for like context. %3% more left. Okay. So, okay, let me try to give you what would be a milquetoast liberal? I'll start with the Clintons. So imagine the Clinton administration got things like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the new the reforms to the economy going through recession, gay right to liberation, all that type of junk, crime bill, etc., etc. Now, if you move towards the left, you'll get things like the Obama administration, investments in infrastructure, investments in healthcare. Whereas if you move more to the right, you get tax breaks for the wealthy, and culture war discourse. You get culture war discourse, such as, like, why do we talk about Black Lives Matter? Why are gay trans people? Why, again, bills against gay and trans people. And then you move more left again, you get things like healthcare. I'll draw a little heart. Healthcare, socialized medicine, free healthcare. Where then you move to the right, you get things like banning pornography, or I'm not buying that free healthcare stuff. I said, well, free healthcare. Why not? What's wrong with free healthcare? You don't want free healthcare, my friend? What's wrong with free healthcare? Cause nothing is free. You're right. Nothing is free, but we can make it free with taxes. And if you also imagine you are working right. Imagine you're working right. There's some guy who refuses to work. Yeah? What about him? You are funding his healthcare with your taxes. I am? You work your ass off. Oh, I am? But wait. Don't I get free healthcare? Wait a minute. I also get free healthcare. And also I don't, and someone is benefiting from that. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't like it when people are unhealthy and die. I like life. I like it when people get to live regardless of whether or not they're working. Like, I also get healthcare as well. I'm not a person who values people based on how hard they work. I value them because they're a human like me. Which is another thing the right hates. Life. And you pay for that healthcare stuff? Yes! Yes! I believe in human happiness and freedom. Why don't you buy insurance? Insurance is fucking evil, dude. That's why. Insurance. Do you know how insurance works? I'm done with this. This was I'm not good at explaining. Insurance is some of the most bullshit on the planet. So here's how insurance works. You are you go to the hospital for something. Let's say you broke your arm. You broke your arm like this. Okay. They fix it up for you. They put it they give you some, and then they give you medicine, and then the insurance company charges you thousands upon thousands, probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe, for all the shit that they did to your arm. And then you go to your insurance company and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was just about like $500 to $700." I know that sounds like I'm being hyperbolic, but no, that's literally what they do. That's the point of insurance company. They're a profit motive. They're nothing but to incentivize your health. And you will pay anything, literally anything, to be healthy. I know I would. For my family, my friends, whoever. I don't care. That's maybe that insurance is fucked up and you need to fix that. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to fix it. Socialized medicine. But I want to finish this video. It's like we're very close to the end.
Revolution's coming. Prepare for the fight. Workers of the world, unite.
Nothing is determined. You're so fatalistic. A grand theory.
Instead of taxing yourself with socialized medicine, you can pay for. But why? Why? When it could be, you can just go to get a checkup and don't have to worry about it because you're paying taxes.
Your failed predictions? A distraction. Here's some questions that guide human action. Where are we going? What's the right course? What will motivate us? Incentives or force? Here's what you miss from commanding heights. Each person's gifts and individual rights. Across every continent, culture, and creed, people have flourished only when freedom. Incentives of force. But capitalism, they want hand in your pocket. That's the problem. Well, do you not believe in paying taxes? Wait, let me respond to what they just said right here on this video before I lose it. He basically just said that how are you going to drive incentives of force? But there's soft force in capitalism. If you work or you die. Or you work and then live a barely livable means and then die,
That's how capitalism works. There's no incentive. They're like, yeah, the incentive is force. It's literally force. It's coercion.
Passion, profit, charity, and love through the shape of a hand, not a boot from above. Socialism's record isn't hard to parse. First it was tragedy, now it's a farce. Let's unite people from every nation in peace, exchange, and cooperation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So. I told you Marx was right.
No way. It's Mises all the way. The free market brings the goods.
Yeah, it brings the goods, all right. A heaping pile of inequality and strife.
Try peace and prosperity.
Okay, there's a lot of problems with this. I don't like their, like, he's not defending communism very good enough. And he's just like, oh, look at all the good things capitalism done. Which I agree, capitalism's done a lot of good things, but now it's time to move on. He's not explaining, he has to agree with what he's saying in order for him to move the conversation. Otherwise, he just sounds like someone who's completely against markets, which is very stupid.
Yeah, I am. I am trying that.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't look like it.
Did you watch this?
Yeah. Half of it was good.
Visit MisesMarks.com to learn more about the debate over the future of our economy.
Nice. I hope I reached out to you, friend. And seriously, I'm not saying that capitalism is like I'm not saying that capitalism is like something that didn't do good for our world. It did. However, you have to recognize that what it is now is late stage. It's late stage capitalism, and that's pretty fucking horrifying thing we're living in right now. If you really think about it, wages have stagnated. People are getting richer, like the top 1% is getting richer and smaller and more consolidated. Alienation, people working multiple jobs, like it's just like not a good thing, and I can't support it. Capitalism needs to go the way the dino. But it was nice talking to you, friend. And do consider following me. If you like, I don't know if you like if I moved you, or if you had any interesting convo with me, but I'd love to see you again. Oh no, I broke it. I broke it. Until next time, take care.